If I were in the shoes of Daesh, I would establish myself in Brussels. Brussels is 1 hour 20 minutes from Paris, 2 hours from London, 3 hours from Amsterdam, and Berlin is not that far either. Very well connected, cheap flights, train connections, motorways. So it's very easy to go in and out of Belgium. From a strategical point of view, it's really very practical in terms of connections and the fact that you can easily disappear in a very diverse population.
Safe house where they made the first bombs for Paris. It's here.
Right here.
Right here. And I live here.
You live 2 streets away.
Yes. So they were my neighbors for 2 months, and I didn't know that these bombs have been made here close to my house. And this.
What was your reaction to learning that Najim Lashraoui, one of the attackers, lived in Schaerbeek? What was your reaction upon hearing that?
As far as I know, he has been a good student, as the rest of his family. So I think there is nothing to complain about family, about school, about all that. Simply at the age of 20 or 21, we don't know why, he decided to go to Syria.
You have about 150,000 residents in Schaerbeek. Do you have enough police to police the entire community?
We are underfunded. We think we are underfunded by the federal state. The federal state decided to fund 666 policemen over our territory in the year 2000. But population grew by 20% since then, and we have not get any more funds.
We're on the street here where police say the terrorists hatched their plan to attack the metro station and the airport. And how they know that is because the morning of the attacks, there was a taxi driver who picked these men up and took them to these locations. And he was suspicious because they had luggage that he was not allowed to touch. And they acted very suspiciously, and he didn't say anything until after the attacks, and he realized that this might have been a clue. He tipped the police off, and that led police to this address that we're coming up here, number 4.
Et donc effectivement, ils ont loué ici l'appartement. C'est vrai que c'est un peu un étonnement pour le quartier, puisqu'en réalité, ça reste un quartier relativement calme.
Yeah, so you're saying that they recently rented this apartment and they're not from the neighborhood, and it's a little bit shocking for the residents here because this is a calm, quiet neighborhood.
Exactement. Je pense que ça ne reflète pas réellement la réalité, si vous voulez, de la population qui habite et qui habite généralement très sereinement.
It's not the reality of the people that live in this neighborhood.
Schaerbeek, c'est une commune de 126 000 habitants.
126,000
Exactement.
living in Schaerbeek.
Une commune qui est dans la jonction entre le croissant pauvre, ce qu'on appelle le croissant pauvre de Bruxelles. Le croissant pauvre de Bruxelles, c'est une série de communes qui d'ailleurs, beaucoup d'analystes font le lien entre le fait que beaucoup de ces terroristes s'implantent dans ces quartiers pauvres de Bruxelles.
Oui.
Et donc, il est plus simple de se retrouver dans un quartier où on est avec ses semblables, où on n'apparaît pas comme un étranger dans un quartier paupérisé.
You've gained 20,000 more residents in Molenbeek in the last 20 years.
Yes.
But the police force number has stayed the same?
Absolutely. We don't have more police people, we don't have more money, because the people who came, they are not middle class. They are young people, they are kids, and low economic class. So it's very difficult to respond, to answer to all needs for a city, a town like Molenbeek.
So this is number 30. This is the home of Abdesalam, one of the men whose car was found near the Bataclan Theater. He's still at large as of today.
On
Vas-y, va, parle même pas avec moi, va, bouge. Va trouver un autre pigeon. Vas-y, casse-toi.
There's people that are clearly not happy because there's been a lot of media here. And it's understandable. This is a community, this is a neighborhood, and this terrorist was living amongst them. This is the neighborhood that Saleh Abdeslam grew up in. This is the neighborhood where he lived most of his life. We're only about a half a mile away from the office of the mayor. And this is the apartment. Where the man who is considered the most wanted man in Europe was found by Belgian police after 4 months on the run. When he was arrested, he was found not far from the neighborhood where he spent his entire life. How does that happen? How does it happen that he happens to be right here?
Because after the Paris attacks, we didn't know if he was staying here in Belgium, in Brussels, or he escaped to Syria, to another country.
Why are there young people in Belgium that are at risk for leaving Belgium and committing acts of terror?
Ces jeunes-là, quelquefois, il y a des difficultés de vie au niveau social.
They have a difficult life socially.
Exactement. Il y a le décrochage scolaire et il y a ce dégoût de ne pas avoir une chance comme les autres.
How does a recruiter say, this person is the one I want and not that person? Comment il décide? Qu'est-ce qu'il cherche?
Mais il cherche quelqu'un qui est disponible d'abord, qui a cette haine de l'Occident en général. Ils vont les aborder dans la rue, quelquefois. Mais il y a aussi l'attrape-nigo via l'Internet. Mais ce n'est pas dans des mosquées officielles. Ils surfent aussi sur des conflits internationaux. Ils utilisent des images atroces, la mort des enfants, etc. Sur Internet pour dire, regardez, nous, notre cause, c'est combattre pour les faibles. Et surtout que ces lieutenants qui engagent, ils sont très accueillants, ils peuvent les aider financièrement, etc. Et le jeune, il voit en lui le grand frère, le sauveur. Et c'est lui, il devient redevable. Et là, il le maîtrise. Ils peuvent lui dire, tu vas te faire sauter ici, tu vas commettre un attentat, il va répondre oui.
I'm on my way to meet Geraldine Hennigan. She's the mother that we spoke to last year who lost a son in Syria after he became radicalized. I want to find out if anything's changed for her, what successes she's had, if there have been any failures, and how she feels about what happened here.
They destroy my family, but now they destroy my country. With the event, it's very important that we work with the young people. And so we were yesterday in a school to say to the young people, please stop, don't go there.
Quand vous avez appris que votre fils est parti en Syrie, est-ce que vous vous êtes dit, c'est bon, mon fils va mourir sous les bombes, ou vous avez encore eu une chance de vous dire, mon fils va revenir?
Moi, je me suis dit qu'elle allait mourir.
Donc sachez que les jeunes qui sont partis là-bas, ils partent soi-disant pour avoir un idéal, pour vivre un idéal, pour aider les Syriens. Et en fait, quand ils arrivent là-bas, ils n'ont plus de liberté. La liberté de parler, la liberté de penser, la liberté d'aller où vous voulez, vous ne l'avez plus. Vous êtes un numéro, vous êtes parti et vous ne reviendrez pas. The young people that we meet in school, they say that, oh, we didn't know that it was so. And now we know the truth, what is the situation there. We are busy now for the moment to change the thinking of the authorities because they say before, they let the message, please don't come back, because if you come back you will go direct to the prison. And now we try to change the authorities and to say we want that they come back, they have the possibility to come back and to give them a second chance to live here in Belgium.
When will you be able to say, you know, our job has been accomplished, mission accomplished?
No, I will say that I am success when I will never have a new family. When there is no attack, there is no new guards, because you know that there are everyday departure for Syria, they don't stop. And when I will say that there is no young boy, young girl who went to Syria, and also there is no new family. That's my success.